when and if I draw that Wyoming elk hunt, I will be sitting on 13 to 14 preference points. Okay. And so that could potentially get me to some of the best elk hunting units that there possibly are. All right. So there's that. Right. And I go out there. I don't have a ton of elk hunting experience, but if you're going to one of the best, maybe, I get lucky or something like that. But here's what I'm thinking. The other thing that I'm thinking is finding somebody who has hunted those units who may not have a lot of preference points stacked up. Maybe they have 2 or 3 or whatever. And then applying as a group and using my heavily weighted preference points to average it out to go to a unit where that person is more knowledgeable about and that they don't necessarily get to hunt every year, but because they're piggybacking off my preference points, then they'll be like, yeah, sure, dude, I'll go hunt with you. I just, I need them to kind of guide me, and I would be willing to use my preference points as leverage for that to happen so that I have, I'm going to be going with someone who has way more knowledge of that, that unit, that basin, that drainage than me by myself. So I would be willing, I feel like I'd be willing to give up a premier unit in order to hunt with someone in a lesser unit who has more knowledge about that said unit, if that makes sense. So, and I would be probably willing to do that on the mule deer side of things too. I don't necessarily know because my standards aren't so high with antelope. I don't feel like I would necessarily be willing to do that with antelope. I feel like that antelope rifle hunt is going to be something that I can do by myself. I just need to practice long range shooting and do that. But outside of that, I feel like that is my goal. Sprinkle in some lottery hunts, sprinkle in some Colorado, Idaho hunts, sprinkle in some of the traditional mule deer hunts that I've been doing in the Dakotas and Nebraska. Maybe sprinkle in because I'm going to be sitting on some Kansas points as well for whitetail, and that's where my uncle lives. So I got a place to hunt out there, and then start working in the Wyoming hunts as well. And so that, my friends, is my 5 to 7 year plan. That might even get stretched out to 10. And I'm really hoping that all of this works out in my favor. I hope I stay healthy. I'm 45 years old right now, so I'm starting to think about all of the hunts that I want to do, all of the goals that I want to accomplish. I've killed a mule deer, so I can check that box. I want to kill an antelope. I want to kill a elk, and I'm hoping to do that in the next 5 to 7 years.